Kamakailan ay ipinasa ng Senado sa ikatlo at huling pagbasa ang panukalang batas na amyendahan ang Public Service Act o Senate Bill No. 2094. Ang Public Services Act o PSA ay isang batas na nagtatakda ng patakaran sa pagpapaunlad at pamamalakad ng mga serbisyong pampubliko gaya ng pampublikong transportasyon at distribusyon ng enerhiya at tubig. Sa pamamagitan nito, papayagan na ang 100% pagmamay-ari ng dayuhan sa mga public services katulad ng telecommunications, airlines, domestic shipping industry, railways at subways. Sa Senate Bill 2094, tanging distribusyon at transmisyon ng kuryente at tubig ang mananatili sa definisyon ng public utilities at protektado ng 60% pagmamay-ari ng Pilipino at 40% pagmamay-ari ng dayuhang korporasyon. Samantalang ang telecommunications, transport, broadcast at iba pa ay tatawaging public services na pwede nang maging 100% pagmamay-ari ng dayuhan. Layunin ng panukalang batas na alinsunod sa mga safeguards o mga itatalagang kondisyon na mapabuti ang serbisyo sa publiko at makahikayat ng kompetisyon at mapalago ang ekonomiya. Matatanda ang sinertipikahang urgent bill ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang panukalang batas noong nakaraang taon matapos malugmok ang ekonomiya ng bansa dahil sa pandemya at umaasa ang Pangulo na sa pamamagitan ng pagsertipika at pag-aproba sa nasabing batas, magriresulta ito sa dagdag na trabaho para sa mga mamamayang Pilipino. Samantala, sa isang forum, tinanong ang presidential aspirant at dating senador na si Bongbong Marcos sa kanyang opinyon patungkol sa nasabing panukalang batas at dahil siya ang nangunguna sa mga surveys at posibleng manalo sa 2022 elections, marapat lamang na malaman ng publiko ang kanyang komento tungkol dito.
Senate bill that is amending, that seeks to amend the Public Services Act is actually an attempt to rationalize all of the different functions, especially for our trade, and of course a very critical part that shipping plays in that, in all of its different forms. You rightly bring up, as a lawyer, bring up the possible constitutional conflict on the constitutional provision on the ownership by foreign corporations of local businesses. The way that the Senate bill gets around this is to define it as a critical infrastructure, shipping as a critical infrastructure. I do not know, perhaps the attorney, you could probably give us a better opinion than I could, but I do not know if that redefinition is going to be allowed by the Supreme Court in the vis-a-vis the provision in the Constitution that ownership must be ownership of all corporations that operate in the Philippines must be owned by a majority of Filipinos. And so I think that there is a better way to do it. I think that we have to re-examine that. That will require a constitutional amendment if we are going to proceed in that manner, and that will take a very long time, and it will be a very difficult process for the simple, as we have seen in the past, that any constitutional amendments have been struck down since the '87 Constitution, and so the Senate bill, as it stands and as it redefines the shipping industry as a critical infrastructure, will definitely come under a legislative test, rather a judicial test, and will be challenged, I'm sure. So I can see that the president may allow it, so as to just show that this is an effort that we are trying to do, so that because the problem is it's not only transportation, it's not only shipping, but it is also telecommunications, which may be 100% foreign owned. And that, I think, is going to be very sensitive, a very sensitive issue. We have always maintained that especially media companies should not be owned by by foreigners, for the simple reason that then it will be a foreign agenda that will be pushed in our media, as we have seen in some of the other countries. So we have to be very, very careful. Nasama yung transportation kasi doon sa telecommunications. Sa palagay ko, that will be the most contentious issue that the Senate bill has the Senate Bill 2064 will have to face. I do not know what the tendency of the president is right now, as to because it has already been passed on third reading. I think we will have to see what the president's opinion is going to be on this. But I think that we are still going to have to face some legal challenges to that Senate bill, and perhaps we can already come up with a better plan than a redefinition of transport and telecommunications as the necessary infrastructure, because it is not actually, in very strict terms, infrastructure to begin with. Infrastructure is defined differently than transportation. So yes, although it is an attempt to free up and to be able to bring investment into our port system, to modernize our port system, so that perhaps we can finally achieve what we are hoping to achieve, to make the Philippines a logistical center, considering our strategic importance in terms of our geographical position. We have become a country of great interest, not only in the geopolitical scene, because of the conflicts that we have in West Philippine Sea. And the conflicts we have in West Philippine Sea are very simply derived from the fact that we are in between the Pacific Ocean, and any shipping that comes out of the West Philippine Sea must come through some Philippine waters, and that is why we have become so important geopolitically. However, although that is maybe makes it a bit more sensitive in the geopolitical terms, I think that in transport terms and the logistics terms, that is a very, very great advantage. Even when it comes to digital infrastructure coming into the Philippines and then going into the rest of ASEAN or the rest of Asia. So perhaps we can, instead of redefining transport as a critical infrastructure, perhaps we should have a program just to develop specifically the ports that we have in the Philippines. And there are many potentials here.
Yung ikaw ang gobyerno, huwag mo sasabihin ikaw lang ang gagawa ng lahat nito. Magpatulong naman tayo sa private sector. At pagka nagsama naman ng public sector at private sector na maganda, marami talagang na-achieve, marami talagang nagagawa. So yun ang sa akin malaking pag-asa para sa ating pag-recover ng ating ekonomiya. Yung partnership ng local, ng private at ng public, ng gobyerno at saka yung mga korporasyon na malalaki na may malaking project, infrastructure, power, sa internet, telco, lahat yan. Kailangan talaga natin ng tulong dahil ang nangyari talaga, hindi lang naman ng Pilipinas, lahat ng bansa, nalubog sa utang dahil nga sa COVID. So wala tayong mga pondo ngayon, hindi tayo masyadong pwedeng magbayad. And also there's the technical aspect of it. So dapat talaga that is why lahat ng sektor talaga magtulungan . Kasi kung isang sektor lang, gobyerno lang, public sector lang ang tutulong, hindi natin magagawa ito. Kung private sector lang ang gagawa, hindi pa rin kaya. we need everybody working together. Dahil siyempre, number one, medyo nabawasan ng resources natin dahil sa COVID. At pangalawa, baka makuha natin yung synergy. 1 plus 1 equals, 1 plus 1 is not 2, is 3. Di ba? Yun ang mga gusto natin eh. So I think if we can, that's why ang sinisigaw namin ng Inday Sara is always pagkakaisa. Kasi yun lang talaga ang magiging solusyon natin. Magkaisa muna tayo, magkaisa tayo, magtulungan tayo, magagawa natin to. Hindi lang tayo makakaraos, hindi lang tayo mag-survive, kundi sisikat pa tayo kung talagang tama ang ating magawa.
Sir, ang yung sinusulong ni Inday Sara na pagkakaisa, genuine unity, dapat wala nang yung mga kulay-kulay, dilawan, pulahan, dapat wala na. Kumbaga, isa na lang tayo. Yun talagang gusto nyong unity, genuine unity.
Well, actually, ang pinag-uusapan ko hindi political unity. Sinasabi nga ng may iba, anong gusto mo? Isang partido lang. Di ba? Hindi naman maganda yon. Hindi yun. Ang sinasabi ko, kahit na hindi tayo magkasama, kahit hindi tayo nagkakasundo sa iba't ibang bagay,
Magtulungan.
lahat naman siguro tayo magkakasundo na sa pangangailangan ng Pilipino. So, magtulungan tayo. Kung ayaw mong tumulong sa amin, tumulong ka in your own way. Gawin nyo yung sabihin mo sa amin, tapos doon kami, ibabaka kayo namin. It's not a question of political, how do you say, talking about fascism already, pagka isang partido lang. Hindi yun ang iniisip ko. Ang iniisip ko, yung that sense of nationhood, that sense of pagka-Pilipino, that patriotism, nationalism, na isang tabi muna natin mga yan, at magtrabaho muna tayo, kawawa naman ng tao eh. Nagpapasikat tayo mga politiko, nagpapasikat tayo, gusto kong ganito. O sige, disikat ka, pero kawawa pa rin yung tao.
Correct.
So, let's just change that, Unahin na muna natin sila, kasi yun ang importante. Hindi naman yung hindi naman yung sarili natin. That's what's important eh. Kaya tayo linagay, pag binoto man tayo sa posisyon, pag nahalal man tayo, inalal tayo para tulungan sila eh. Hindi para tulungan sarili natin eh. So, that's what I want everybody to remember.